Louisiana Beer Reviews looks at Nebraska Brewing's India Pale Ale. This company was founded in 2007 in the state of Nebraska, which I visited once in 1996. I went to the town called Nebraska City and I ate at Hardee's. That is my experience in Nebraska. But I did like it. I mean, that little bit of Nebraska, I have been there. Been to 48 states, got 2 left, but anyway. Ken in Omaha, Nebraska sent me this and a bunch of other beers, and he said the only thing he wanted in return was for me to give him a shout out. So, Ken, I'm giving you a shout out for sending me these beers. I don't do beer trades, and I always tell people don't send me stuff because I feel funny about it. Because if I started doing beer trades, I would just, pretty soon you would not see me on the internet doing beer reviews. I'd get so discouraged. I would go back to just drinking whatever I felt like it and never doing written reviews or videos. Because it takes up a lot of time. It's a big hassle to me. You might like doing it. I hate it. I've done it and I hated it. Beautiful can. I would rather see it in a bottle, but you know, no big deal. Nice artwork. It's not cheesy artwork or cheap looking. Husband and wife company here. La Vista, Nebraska. The View. 42 degrees, they say, recommended. And they show in a glass similar to this Anheuser-Busch InBev tasting glass. 6.9% alcohol, 70 IBUs. I saw a couple of video reviews. They were very favorable, very favorable. They used Turo, Munich, and Munich malts and Midnight Wheat. Warrior, Chinook, Citra, and Centennial are the hops. Pretty common hops you see in India Pale Ales. Gets a very good score on Beer Advocate. 93 out of 100 on Rate Beer, 91 out of 100 for the style. So B plus into the A- range. All right. Well, of course, I've never had it. I've never seen their beers here. And I told Ken, I was like, hey, they might show up around here next week. You know, and that's why I'm always discouraging people from sending me stuff. Because another Ken, Tommy Sands, as he calls himself on the internet, sent me some beer, bunch of beers from Massachusetts, and I was like, you know, I might go to the store and find the same thing down here a week later. We get such a turnover just in this town and the New Orleans area, being, I guess, that's a port city. He says, Ale Storm is for the Omaha Storm Chasers. Kansas City Royals farm team. I do know that because the New Orleans Zephyrs, they have been part of the Pacific Coast League for years. They were in the American Association, but that league dissolved. I know they brought it back as an independent league. I don't know if it's still in business. I think it is, but they went from the American Association with teams like Buffalo and all of them in the East, and they switched to the Pacific Coast League, which is mostly California teams and Midwest teams, plus east of the Mississippi, New Orleans, and Nashville and Memphis. So yes, I know they are a farm team. I wish they were still called the Omaha Royals. I thought it was a better look when it was the Royals with that royal blue, and it was really sharp looking. Then they went to the Storm Chasers when they built the new stadium. So thank you for all of your great reviews, he says. Hi, Jay. Jay, the nickname. I have enjoyed them over the past couple of years. This is a sampling from 2 great Omaha breweries. I also included a can from my collection to yours. And there's the can. Falstaff. This is an old steel can, you know, with the seam. I do remember these very well. This was a can of Falstaff that I bought in 1996 in Metairie, a suburb of New Orleans, on U.S. Highway 61, Airline Drive, they call it, but Airline Highway. And then Falstaff was discontinued in 2005. There's an old bottle from around 1963. Really interesting label. Old matchbook. All the matches still there. An old glass, original glass from around 1965, I guess. Chalice from around 65. It's very light, though. It's strange. A very heavy glass pitcher. from around the same time, and one of those 1970s insulated plastic tankards. You might remember these, insulated with styrofoam. You pour the beer and it doesn't get warm too easily. So I have a pretty good Falstaff collection. I do miss the beer. Enjoy the beer. Well, I'm going to do that. All I ask in return is one review with a shout out. Well, you're going to get all the reviews with the shout out. Cheers, Ryan, unless I forget. But I'm going to remember unless I can't remember. Okay. On with the review. India Pale Ale. I have been accused of not liking the style. I do like the style. I have always liked the style. No, I was complaining about the last 5 or 6 years because I thought people had done a poor work with the style, okay? And you know I've been ranting about that. Rant and rave with Jake. Rant and rave with Ronald. Rant and rave with Louisiana Beer Reviews. You know I've been ranting and rave about that because I don't want to pay money for India Pale Ales that taste like canned pineapple. And even more so, canned private label pineapple. It's bad enough if it tastes like dough, but it's worse if it tastes like Best Choice or Surefine pineapple. I mean, get it together. Now let's see. This date is, I don't see a date. There's no date. There's no date, guys. Well, that's horse hockey. That chaps my chapstick. No date. Hey, I know Nebraska is a pretty old state. And there's no reason they can't stamp dates on the cans. So here we go. Get ready for 10 minutes of me going on about the dates because I am so furious. But honestly, and this is a parody, honestly, it's not that hard to put a date. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe there's some big difficulty with it, but it seems to me you just stamp it. But anyway, look at that beautiful head. They said on the website it's going to have a thick head with a lot of lacing. And there's maybe controversy about lacing. I was talking to Tom, the beer whisperer, the other day in a hangout offline, not online. But he said lacing has nothing to do with the quality of the beer. I don't know that. Some people say, oh, it has lacing. I really don't know if it does or doesn't. It's pretty. It has something to do with the aesthetics of the beer, I suppose. Okay, so lots of bubbles. It's, man, this is gold or copper. No, let's say it's amber. Yeah, it's not really orange like a lot of IPAs. It's amber and it's clear. It is clear. Oh, yes. And bubbly. Well, it's etched bottom. They have like the AB eagle at the bottom, so it's going to produce those bubbles. Let's go on with the review. Muchachos. Thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. Now I did that the Illinois from Anheuser-Busch InBev's Goose Island line. Man, what a fabulous beer. A+, outstanding all the way. You could almost say world class. I'm not going to say world class. I really am reluctant to use that term. But now this company here, they got some nerve. They're saying world class in every glass. Okay, now you said it, Nebraska Brewing. You saying all your beers are world class in every glass. That means it's better than an A+. It's one of the few India Pale Ales on this planet that are world class. Okay. It smells good. It's malty. It's pretty, you don't want to say dark. It's not dark. It's pretty full-nosed brown bread. Because these pale ales, they tend to be pale. That's why I have a big problem with the black IPAs. And they taste like white bread to me. I know what white bread tastes like: brown bread, black bread, Jewish bread, rye bread, blah, blah, blah. You know, I love eating bread. I love drinking bread. And there's hop resin. It's citrusy, but it's not insipidly citrus, right? Hey, this is starting out really nice. here at, I started the review at exactly 7:50. This video commenced at 7:50 a.m. The 72 IBUs are fully in play, okay? You drink Stone IPA, it's 70 and it tastes like 70. You drink the Illinois from Goose Island, it's 80 and it tastes like 80. You know, a lot of times the IBUs, the number listed is far from what you perceive in the flavor. Malty. Caramel. They say it's West Coast. It is. It is similar to Torpedo. Torpedo I use as my baseline. Why is that? Well, when I can go to a grocery store and they have it on sale for $7.99 a 6-pack, and it's an A+ beer, outstanding. Okay, and it's like it never fails, right? So if I can do that, whatever you're making, and I'm paying twice as much, it better be way better. But yet, actually, they never are. I mean, a few are a little better, but way better? No. It's hop oil more than citrus. Do they have citrus characteristics? Yes. Does it have fruitiness? Well, that's from citrus, you know, fruit, citrus. Yes, but it's hop oil. It's wonderful because it's the malt, the bready, sweet, not really sugary. Now, like the Illinois. The Illinois was sugary. This is not so sugary. It's sweet, but it's not sugary, right? So the mouthfeel is a little slick, a little bit. The finish is dry, it's easygoing, it's refreshing, it's got 6.9% alcohol, it has the heft to hold up against those western storms. I consider Nebraska a western state, right? Because it's west of the Mississippi River. I mean, heck, it's west of Iowa. It's one of those states that the pioneers went through along those trails. You know, it's got Castle Rock or whatever. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I mean, it's the West. Nebraska is the West. It has sand hills. If you're out in Nebraska, you are out west, by my reckoning. Same thing with Kansas. Dodge City, Marshall Dillon. That's the West, folks. My friend Paul lives in Houston, Texas. Well, the Woodlands. I say, you live out west. Oh, no, we're in the South. I say, yeah, the Southwest. Texas used to be owned by Mexico, so this is like what Tom Cruise said in 1981. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Hey, you know, this is like one of the redemption IPAs. You go through like a voyage of depression, a voyage of drizzle, dreary days, insipid, desultory IPAs. You know, it's like I can just go to the store and buy some canned store brand pineapple, which I would never buy. I went to high school, middle school, elementary school. I ate enough canned pineapple in my life to never want to eat it again. I mean, not that I disliked it, I just had enough of it. So, not to mention fruit salad. So, but when I'm paying good money for a beer that tastes like that, I get really irritated. This does not. This does not. It's got the elephants on there from India, and if you read the history of India Pale Ales, you'll understand why they're called India Pale Ales, even though they're not from India. Hey, no joke. This is a good start. This, and I did it first because, you know, you don't want the hop fade. Not to say that I know what the date is, but I'm presuming it's fairly fresh. I have to go with an A+. Now this is really encouraging. 2 India Pale Ales, India Pale Ale and Imperial yesterday, day before yesterday, no, yesterday, and they both were A+. That is a good sign. There is hope in this world, in this India Pale Ale world. So it can be done. It can be done. You do have the ability Well, actually, many companies obviously don't. But there are companies with the ability to make good IPAs. So Laissez Le Bon Ton Roulé. This is a winner, if there were ever any winners. And that's my connection to Nebraska, the Pacific Coast Baseball League. And not to mention that Nebraska was once part of Louisiana, right? Louisiana, not Louisiana. Louisiana used to encompass a huge chunk of the West and southern Canada when it was a French territory. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to Louisiana!